It's so hot here, Rock. I'm sweating.
I'm sorry to hear that. I was sliding down my icy driveway today trying to put my recycle can. Literally, I was hoping the neighbors didn't see it.
Let me get the sweat out of my eyes real quick. And it's humid in my office too. Hey, I want to clarify one thing. I mentioned yesterday that everybody was here from the pitcher standpoint. Alex Wells is still going through. He should be done now with the intake because he got a day later because of travel restrictions coming from Australia. So I misspoke there yesterday, Rock.
All right, we can go into questions, and Rock, you can lead us off.
Brandon, just out of curiosity, with Valdez, he was starting in winter ball, obviously, in the Caribbean World Series, and did really well. Is there any thought at all to looking at him as a starter? Or is he just too valuable in the bullpen because of the length he provides and the different roles and the rubber arm, basically?
Yeah, we're going to stretch him out. So he's going to pitch multiple innings this spring. I think that he's a candidate to do a number of different things just because he's got the ability to start. He pitched the 9th inning for us there at the end of the year. He can go long out of the bullpen as well. So we're gonna build him up innings wise and then kind of see where we are toward the end of camp.
John Mioli, you can go ahead.
To kind of dovetail off that, is there anyone else who was in a more bullpen exclusive role last year who's getting stretched out to be able to be in a similar position later in spring?
Looking at my board, just give me a second, please. I don't see it from a starting standpoint, but I think you're going to see some of our guys throw more innings in spring than normal. I would like to build all of them up to be multiple inning guys. So I'd like to see them all at least become 1+, some guys 2+, maybe even 3 out of the pen starting the year.
Steve Molesky, you can go ahead.
Brandon, how important was it last year for your team to deal with all the craziness of COVID? And you remarked several times how well the Orioles handled that. And here again, you're back in the same boat, dealing with a lot of the same things. I mean, what did it mean to your team to handle it well? And now you're asking them to do it again.
Yeah, I told the pitchers and catchers the other day how proud I was of how we handled last summer. Our guys dealt with a ton of adversity. There was very little, none of us had any experience going through something like that, and the way that we followed protocols, the way that we stuck together, did the right things on and off the field. I was really proud of it, how they handled that. And this year is just more of the same. We talked about that. We talked about how we're going to go in with the same mindset of understanding what the protocols are, following those, doing what's right for not only our club, but for everybody else. But, our organization from the top down has been incredibly supportive. Our players understand that and we care about their health and safety first. And our guys recognized that and showed that last summer. And I expect more of the same this year.
Rich, you can go ahead.
Hey, Brandon, putting aside all the jokes and cracks about the 0.0 playoff predictions, but what?
I thought you were going to say something about the intake trailer.
No, that was we did that one yesterday. I mean, realistically, what are your goals for this year? I mean, it's in your third year.
I think we're just want to stay competitive and want to get better every single day. I'm still in the mindset of really improving as a ball club, improving as an organization, continuing to get our guys experience at the major league level. I think there's no better experience than playing in the American League East. You're only going to get better by playing the competition that we play, and we played the last 2 years. You've seen a lot of our guys improve, and we're just going to continue on with that mindset. I think we surprised some people last year, being in it till the last series of the year. I was really happy and proud of how hard our guys played. And I want to continue with that same energy level. I want to continue to keep playing the game hard. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of improvements to make. We have a lot of guys that don't have a ton of experience, and the bottom line is just to get these guys better, continue to get major league experience at the highest level, and compete. And that's our mindset going forward.
But do you feel any pressure to get the 1-loss record up?
No, I'm not concerned about. I'm really process based. I'm not concerned about. I'm trying to win one game at a time. To be honest with you, that's an old cliche, but that is true. And that I just want to see improvement from our players, and that'll equal more wins.
Rock, you're up again.
Right. With someone like Bruce Zimmerman, he's competing for a spot in the rotation, which might be a little harder now with the veterans. But to you, would it be beneficial if he doesn't make the rotation for him to shift to the bullpen and still continue his education there and be a guy that could give you length out of the pen? The Orioles used to do that, obviously, way back in the day with the Flanagans and McGregors and Dennis Martinez's. Or is it more beneficial for someone like him as a young starter to be pitching every 5 days or whatever in AAA until something opens up if he doesn't make the club in the rotation?
Yeah, I think we're going to see how he throws in camp. I think that we see him as a potential starter. He's coming in to win a starter or at least a bulk inning guy role, and then we'll go from there. But it's tough to evaluate last season just because he had such a short sprint in the big leagues and didn't have a full AAA year. He hasn't had a full AAA year, so it's learning at the major league level. We'll decide at the end if we feel like he's ready to be a starter in the big leagues, but. We have high hopes for him. Like his stuff, saw his bullpen today. It's really, really impressive. He's got multiple pitches with a really nice arm. So I think that we have, like I said, we have high hopes for him, and we're going to make that decision. If he's on the club, he's going to pitch bulk innings. So I mean, we're going to make sure that he gets experience and that he stays stretched out.
John Miola, you're up again.
Brandon, to kind of follow on that, you mentioned watching Bruce throw his bullpen and kind of judging off that. You've seen him pitch, up close and personal before, though. For somebody who you haven't or don't have that experience with, what are the things that you look at this point in camp to kind of familiarize yourself and evaluate and kind of project what you might think they are for this team?
I think you go on past experience, look at what they've done in the past. If it's a veteran guy, track record matters. Where he is in his career, how he pitched the last couple years, etc. I think that you're looking to. It's tough to, like I've talked about for this is third year now. It's tough to evaluate on spring training just because some guys have great springs then have bad years. Some guys have really bad springs that have good years. So that's always challenging. But yeah, I mean, I like to go on track record and with a veteran player and talk to him and feel like if there's improvements that he's made possibly in the last year or so. With the young guys, I think it's more of are they ready or not, and if they're ready to pitch at this level. So those are conversations that we have throughout camp. But if somebody goes out and gives up 7 earned runs in the first inning in their first start, it doesn't mean anything. We're just going to continue to evaluate them throughout the course of spring and go off what they've done in the past.
Steve Molesky, you're up.
We've been asking you, Brandon, a lot about the starter innings, how you're going to cover all that, and is some of that dovetailing with what you said earlier in this conversation today about the bullpen guys is how you might do it. Is that what you see? All your guys you want to try to push a little bit so each guy can give you a little more, whether it's, as you said, 1+ or 2? Is that like a team-wide thing you're hoping to gain?
Well, we're doing that individually. I mean, there's some guys I'm going to push to 3, just because I don't think we have any idea what the season's going to look like on the mound. And with the interrupted year last year, the 6-month season this year, I think innings are going to be really, guys be able to throw multiple innings is going to be really valuable. So, whether we get creative with our rotation or have a lot of long guys in there, we got 6 weeks to figure that out. We're going to do what's best for the club, do what's best for the player. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to have as many guys that can throw multiple innings as possible to ease ease the burden on the other guys.
Jerry Coleman, you're up.
Hey, Brandon, pardon if you answered this earlier. As far as the layout down there in Sarasota, since we can't be there, how are things configured, or have they been reconfigured since you guys were there last time around when you came back for the second time, obviously with COVID in play and now in play again? Have things been altered in any fashion?
Well, it's just a little different. There's not any fans on our backfields during our workout. We have an intake trailer in the parking lot that you go through every morning. Our clubhouse, we're spread out in our clubhouse, so players are in three or four different clubhouses, rooms. Our coaches are spread out in different rooms also. So we're following all the protocols there, and then you see everybody wearing masks inside. There's certain rules you can have where you can't have so many people in the weight room, for example. So you have to stagger your schedule a lot. Try to do as many small group things as possible and try to stay distanced. But besides that, I mean, we're having our normal pitchers catchers work day. Our groups are a little bit smaller. There's no fans or media here, so we're kind of by ourselves back there. But it does look fairly similar.
All right. Well, that wraps things up with Brandon today. Thanks, Brandon.
All right. See ya.
See you guys tomorrow.
Stays on earth. Here we go. I don't give a. I'm willing to die for it. Whoa.
The opportunity to catch him, given everything he's accomplished in his career?
I mean, that's an honor. I never think like I will copy him behind the play, and that's one of the veteran guy. I just wanna learn and just like him, like just help my other rookie pitchers over here. And I mean, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Rich Dubroff, you can go ahead.
Hey, Pedro, do you look like 2021 is an especially big and important year for you personally?
Every year is really big for me. It's special for me, and I just I just want to be more consistent the last year, and help my team and my pitchers, and try to do the best in the team.
John Mioli, you're up.
Pedro, you've been very passionate about helping the pitchers on this team get better since you got here. What do you think are some areas that this club has gotten better at from the pitching front in the last few years?
I got a very young guy staff over here, and a lot of talents. but they're still working and consistent. Like normally like a young guy is just being consistent. So they throw the first couple of bullpen they throw, and the last couple of years they've been pitching in this level. I mean, they do it pretty good. They will be more strong and smart, and more consistent every pitch they throw to the sun.
Steve Molesky, you're up.
Pedro, when you went home after the 2020 season and sized up how you played, what did you like about your game, and what did you say I need to do better?
The one I like, I'm gonna start like a really strong, and I was consistent, like in middle of the field and my swing. Just behind the play, we just try to work, drop the knee down and all the stuff. Doesn't look great, but I mean, we have to just keep working on it. And this year, I just wanna just be like just continue the work we started last year, and just try to be better in everything.
Rich Dubroff, you're up again.
Yeah, Pedro, in the first couple of days at camp, are there any pitchers who have stood out to you?
I mean, everybody looked great over here. Everybody looked safe. Everybody, I mean, just like I said, just the first couple of bullpen, everybody threw. They look really great, like ready to go. And I'm excited to see what they got.
John Mioli again.
Pedro, you mentioned the way you started the season at the plate, and some of that productivity that maybe fell off towards the end. Are there things you can work on in the offseason to allow you to carry that deeper into the season?
Yeah, it's kind of like tough a little bit because it's kind of dangerous in Dominican, and we have a lot of rule over there. But I just got a little chance to just work in my defense and my swing. Still try to be continuing everything I was doing in last year. And I feel really good, and I think this year is gonna be like more consistent than the last 2 years.
All right. Well, that will wrap things up with Pedro. Thanks for joining us, Pedro.
Thank you, guys.
Rock, if you want to start us off, you can go ahead.
Hey, Paul. I know you guys have lost some valuable relievers, some veteran guys and leaders and stuff, but do you feel like this unit still has a chance to be a strength on this team with who you guys have back?
Yeah, for sure. Especially seeing what we did last year. I believe we were top 10 in the league, and it was a complete shift of what we were in 2019. So building off that and having confidence going in, I think this group can do something special, and we can all like fight for the late inning roles.
Rich, you can go ahead.
Hey, Paul, since you've come here, you started out as the low man on the totem pole in 18 with all those veterans there, and now you're the veteran. Are you taking are you taking leadership in the bullpen and trying to mentor young guys?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think it just happens naturally at this point, just being in this organization, going on 3 years. It's just different now. You take on that leadership role and guys start coming to you asking questions, and it's just one of those things where you know your way around things, you know how things operate, so you're trying to help guys. And having guys like LeBlanc and Harvey now and Felix around, it's something to learn from, and how to be a leader and how to go about your day.
Steve Molesky, you can go ahead.
Paul, what made your strikeout rate go up from your earlier seasons with the Orioles, and was that important to putting up good numbers overall?
Yeah, consistency within the zone. Strike one, it all starts there. I was attacking guys and using my slider as my weapon and not trying to place it into the zone or anything like that. And when I'm consistent throwing strikes with my fastball, my slider plays off that and I can get guys to chase. So more they're on their toes or on their heels, better for me, especially with my slider.
Does anyone else have any questions for Paul? Go ahead, John.
Paul, I remember this time last year at the beginning of spring training, Brandon had to have kind of a chat with the pitchers about leaving 2019 and everything that was difficult about it in the past and moving forward. There's probably no need for a meeting like that, considering how much better so many guys pitch. What does that do for the atmosphere, knowing that you guys know what progress feels like, know what it looks like as a staff and individually, and are building on something positive as opposed to trying to start from a place of needing to improve just to get to where you were?
Yeah, it's nice to not have to, flush the year prior. I know it was a difficult year for everybody, but we all came together and we, battled our butts off to compete and be top 10 in the bullpen last year. So I think if we do have a meeting, it would probably be don't settle on last year and keep going and keep pushing, because we have a special group and we have a 0.0 chance to make the playoffs, but that's whatever. We got a special group here, so I'm excited.
Steve with the follow-up.
Paul, you've been a teammate of Tanner Scott for a while now and seen his growth and development. What took him to the next level last year, and how has that growth and development on and off the field and in all ways really come about?
Well, Tanner's my best friend, so we talk every day after we are catch partners and stuff, so I'll take credit for some of it. Just kidding. But with him, it's all confidence and mentality, and his stuff is electric and he can get anybody out. So again, same as me, it was consistency in the zone, through the zone, using his stuff to get to his slider that is absolutely wipeout. So like I said, we talk about it every day, and when we're in the bullpen, who we're going to face and stuff. And we just kind of bounce ideas off each other and we grow with each other.
All right. Well, that will wrap things up with Paul. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
We'll close out and join Brandon at 1:15.